You are watching the Polcast. Good evening, North America, and welcome into the Polcast. It is February 6th, 2026. And we want you to forget about everything that's happened over the last 10 years. Starting with that Jeffrey Epstein cat.
Are we still talking about him?
Are we still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? Yeah, because it was a hoax. Didn't you hear? Did you guys hear that? It was a hoax?
Yeah.
I don't know why people keep bringing that shit up.
It's old news.
It's old hat.
Yeah, it's old news.
We got a live one for you tonight. We're gonna take a trip back in time.
Ooh.
Discuss the last 10 years. But first,
Like the movie The Time Machine.
yeah, the Morlocks.
The Morlocks.
Your books, they're all paper. What's wrong with you? Why come? Introductions are always necessary before we do something like this. So, obviously, people who are watching, thank you for tuning in. Sitting shotgun as usual is the captain. Not actually the captain, the colonel. I just fucked that
Pooja's
up,
not
man.
here.
I totally jacked that up. I can't get to the sound effects fast enough. But sitting shotgun is the colonel. Colonel, thanks for coming in. Good to see you.
Pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Good to see you, friend.
It's good to be
Also, we have our legal eagle in tonight. She's flown all the way back from L.A., where she was
Born.
sitting shotgun with Corbin Bernstein. I think it was named L.A. Law.
L.A. Law is.
You used to watch that show, didn't you?
Of course, and Sybil Shepherd.
Please welcome in the legal eagle, Keita.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Did you really used to watch that show?
Of course.
I don't think I've ever seen that show.
Yeah.
I do remember him. He was in Major League.
Yeah.
Remember I think he played the catcher, and then Tom Berenger, he was arguing with him because he wanted the position, but they were horrible anyway.
I was really, really young, but that's like something my mom would have put on. So I watched it. Was I thinking.
Is that what motivated you to get into the law?
No, I'll tell you this
field?
though. Boston Legal, that may be actually something that was
Who was in Boston Legal?
Denny Crane, AKA your favorite from Star
Patrick
Trek.
Stewart.
No, Star Trek. Oh, well.
Geordie LaForge.
No,
Worf.
no, the guy. Oh my God, William Shatner.
Oh, Shatner.
Shatner was in there?
Yes, he was so funny. He was like hilarious. He was so and James Spader. He was in Boston Legal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like James Spader.
And I also loved the show Ally McBeal. It was really super.
Was that another law show?
Yep. It was like a drama comedy. They would do like these weird, like she would burst out into song. It was like she had some kind of brain issue and she would burst out into song. Like,
Is that typical for lawyers?
I mean, honestly, yes, clown show. That's what happens to me. I mean, usually
Sorry,
I
I
revert
joke.
to my childhood and it's some kind of like hymn from like church. But if I hear a word, it triggers a song. And in my head, that's what's going on. And I think it really resonated with me for that reason.
It was like she daydreamed.
Yes. And it would
Very
show
vivid imagination.
the daydream. It was hilarious. Like it was a funny show.
I remember I seen a little bit of it, and there was another show that came out around that time. It was called Cop Rock.
Did not
You guys
see
remember that?
No.
It was a drama, but it was a musical. So they'd be in court, and like the lawyer would be objection. And I think that I can win this case. And they all start dancing. I swear to God, it was the weirdest shit I ever seen. It only lasted like 3 episodes. And
I can't imagine
Yeah, I
why.
wonder why.
Yeah, I was like, this is terrible. Even as a kid, like I'm like, nobody's gonna watch this. It just looked.
As
terrible.
you sat and watched it,
I did watch the first 3 episodes.
you're still a little bitter about it getting canceled, aren't you, Rambo?
I just sitting there as a fat kid, like, bring me the law. Anyway, moving on.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, I wanted to wait till we got to this. But were you at that wild game dinner for your church?
Yeah,
So how was it? Like, what did they have?
all kinds of stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, give us a couple things that you thought were good, and a couple things
alligator.
you thought were bad. Gators, I like gators.
Yeah.
I like gators.
Dude, what else? There was a lot of weird, and I got there late, so I didn't get to try
What?
everything.
You get there late.
Oh,
He's on time for everything but church.
so you're gonna talk to me about being late, huh?
No, it's
Okay,
only-
moving on to the first topic.
Yeah. What time is it? 6:48.
Yeah.
What time were you supposed to be here?
5 p.m.
Okay.
Actually, our show time was 2 p.m.
Yes.
And then it got pushed to 4.
I got pushed to 4,
Then it
and
was
then I fell
5.
asleep, and I was like, "Oh shit, I forgot." It's 5 o'clock. Well, now it's like almost 7 o'clock, but we made it.
Yeah.
We made it. So what else was there? Anything that was really just terrible? Like, they have any snake?
I don't know. I stuck to normal stuff. I was hungry, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What looks good?
Yeah.
I remember.
They had a lot like beaver and like.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. They had.
I would have tried that
Yeah.
just to kind of just to see what it would like. When I was in Peru, and they eat it all the time down there. Guinea pig or
yeah.
capybara.
Mm-hmm. Don't tell Abigail.
Like the guinea pig. I mean, they prepare it different ways, but one of the ways I had it, they fried the whole thing, so it looked like a big chicken nugget. But the skull's in there, the teeth's in there, everything. It was kind of greasy, and I mean, I didn't really care for it, but it was like I wanted to try it because it was weird. And then I think in Korea once, total accident, trying street food. Maybe I've had a couple drinks in me. We're pretty sure it was dog.
Ooh.
Yeah, because they still
the
do eat
McDonald's.
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like McDonald's basically. So it was.
Yeah.
But so anyway, this evening, I thought it'd be interesting if with all the talk, what's going on right now with the Trump administration, a lot of promises that were made, and really it goes back quite a ways. It goes back to when he came down the golden escalator at Trump Tower in New York, and I'd actually even say maybe even a little bit before, like 2015, but we'll start about 2016, and that's when he was talking about, I'm tired of seeing all this stuff going on in the country, and I want to drain the swamp, and I want to make America great again. And before that, he was speaking very highly of people like the Clintons. They were at, you can see a picture right here on the the upper right-hand corner. That's actually Melania and I's wedding, and Bill and Clinton were there for the wedding. They're great people. I love her. She's one of the most beautiful, sweetest women I've ever met. And they spoke very highly of him. There was no lock her up. And then there's a video that we played of back in 2009 where he's really singing praise to her. And, what that transformed into 2016, where he's running on the promise of holding people accountable like her after the disaster that happened in Benghazi.
Yep.
When the ambassador got killed and several other Americans, and which was part of a larger plan that took place right after 9/11 when they were developing this 9 nations that they needed to take out, and Libya was one of them, and another country what's the name? It starts with a V, Venezuela, Iran, which is also on that list.
Yep.
And, he was very chummy with these people. And so all these very big, almost like unbelievable ideas that he had that he was going to, it was almost like, for me, I know personally, I thought it was too good to be true, and I didn't vote for him that time around. But thinking, man, here's an outsider. At least I thought that, because I never watched The Apprentice. I knew nothing about Donald Trump.
No.
Other than he kind of reminded me of Francis from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, like a spoiled kid who had got everything. He's like, my dad only gave me $1 million to start my business. And it's like, this guy's probably never even fucking bought his own groceries. He's probably never, maybe he's drove a car once or twice. He may not even wipe his own ass, but he is in a different category. He is in the elites of the elites, and he always has been in that category. But for him to say the things that he was at that time, that he was going to drain the swamp, start having accountability in D.C., it seemed like something that was too good to be true. And like I said, I was very skeptical of him at that time. And then, we had just moved from Obama, so the pendulum was, already all the way to the left for most.
Yep.
And now it was swinging back to the right, and he won pretty soundly against Hillary, and in the debates, it didn't sound like there was any type of love loss between the two of them. And then we move on. He takes office, and you could already see the chaos brewing. There was a lot of pushback on the left. You started hearing George Soros's name come up a lot because of the money he was putting into these leftist organizations that were protesting, and it's kind of, to me, it was kind of like UW in a sense. He's kind of the he's not really Soros is kind of the underground or auxiliary because he's the money guy, and he's supplying the guerrilla force, which is Antifa and all these other leftist groups.
He's the arm bank.
Yeah. So he's helping throw fuel on the fire during Trump's first administration. And then it forced, I think, a lot of us to go to our tribes and kind of, I stand behind Trump, and you really start seeing this whole MAGA movement develop. From there, obviously, towards the end is when we got into COVID, and I remember it was really, I think it was about October 2019 is when I first started hearing about COVID. When did you guys first start hearing about like this virus that was happening from people eating bats in China? And I think for me, it was like right around October, November timeframe. And then you fast forward a little bit, we're into 2020, and all of a sudden...
I was in an airport returning from Israel, and there were a lot of people with masks on freaking me out, and I was listening to people talk about it.
Really?
Yes, that's
so. Wait,
true.
what date was that?
That was like at the very end. That was like 20-something. It was in the late 20s. Like
late 2020.
2020. No. January. Like I think I went through the 20-something.
What else did you do in Israel when
Don't
you were there?
Wish you knew.
Did you touch Fort Antonia?
No.
The Wailing Wall. It's really an old Roman fort, but did you touch it?
I did not. I already told you that.
I know, but I wanted to get it on camera, so...
You wanted to get... He actually wanted to ask me again to see if I would have a different answer. You think I don't know who I'm dealing with.
You went all the way there.
You
and
won.
touched the wall.
Well, I went to Jerusalem, but yeah, it was very packed in there.
Wow.
I mean, I wasn't...
What a missed opportunity.
I know you guys are very disappointed.
Yeah, if I have a chance to go to Israel, like, the 250 people, I think, politicians from around the United States that won Israel 50 states.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, very touching.
Yep.
Very touching. But so around that time...
Yeah, so I actually learned in an airport thinking, oh gosh, what's all this about? So
Well...
You were a little more in tune than I, go figure.
Well, even then I was not.
Yeah.
I mean, the wheels were just starting to, it really wasn't till 9/11 was the first part, and that was like, I got to see what's going on in Afghanistan, see what this is all about, because I can't have a strong opinion about something if I don't know what it is. I wanted to go back in anyway. 9/11 was the first, like, something's off here. Don't know what it is. When I got out in 2018, I was like, I'm done. This is it. Smooth sailing. Be a dad. Watch basketball. Work out. Smoke penners. And then,
life.
and then, this alleged great businessman or man who had already filed for bankruptcy 5 times, who completely, I don't know if you know this, but I just read about this and I didn't put it in any slides. He completely destroyed the USFL, that's the U.S. Football League, because he was trying to get an NFL team. And they were like, no, we've already got enough teams. We don't want to expand yet. So he went into the USFL. Well, the USFL was playing their games in the spring. These damn mosquitoes are in here. They were playing their games in spring. And he was like, I want to move the games to fall to directly compete against the NFL. It turned into a lawsuit.
That was smart.
Yeah. He convinced these other owners to go into this lawsuit. And the jury was some of the quotes from the jury members that I read was like, he just seemed really arrogant. It was more about him than it was about integrating the two leagues. Well, what ended up happening was the USFL league won, but the amount, like the damages and the monetary value, was $1.
Mm.
Because of some legal mumbo jumbo, I don't know what it was. You would know more if you read it. It actually turned into $2. It destroyed the league.
Yeah.
So it was no more after that.
Reminds me of Trading Places.
Yeah, a little bit. Mortimer and I'll bet you $1, Mortimer.
I just watched that not long ago again.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty. I haven't seen that.
I hadn't seen it in a long time.
Jamie Lee Curtis Nikita.
Oh, dude.
She was a crush when I was.
She was
young.
in the movie I watched last night. It was so cute.
Really?
It was
Is this
so
a newer
cute.
movie you watched
Yes,
last night?
Okay.
It was a newer movie.
Since you went there, what is the movie where she plays Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife?
Oh, True Lies.
Oh my
you go.
dude, that was one of the hottest scenes.
Yeah, he looked really good in that
He
scene.
did. He was really ripped. Thank you. Thanks for.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
Jamie Lee looked really good in
Yeah.
that scene.
Yeah.
Yes.
But okay, so
Sorry.
we got off topic a little bit, but that's all right. So
Divya.
that brought us to COVID, and I mean, we all know what happened. COVID happened. Stay home. Watch a lot of TV. 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and kids all stayed home for school. More TV time for the kids, which the studies are now saying the damage that was done to kids alone from excessive screen time was devastating.
Yep.
The other thing, the development for smaller kids, because they learn by watching mouth movement.
Yep.
And learning how to talk. And I know Keita and I have talked about that before, and just seeing it in kids that we know that had maybe a little bit of a lag in speech development. And personally, I think that COVID had a lot to do with that. It contributed to it. The other interesting part was like the stay apart, the six feet distance.
Yep.
And Colonel, you participated in something that had to do with gait analysis.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is a lot of these AI software, they need 6 feet distance.
The cameras work better with
Yes.
a little bit of distance.
So they were already training people to, and this will get into later, the technocratic elite.
Yep.
They were already training us to, 1, distance ourselves.
Yep.
2, listen to authority, stay home when you're told to stay home. That shutting down an entire economy was normal now.
Yep.
And because the greatest businessman who ever lived told us to do it, we're going to be all right. The economy is going to be all right. However, when you look at the lockdowns and what it did to small business in the United States, you can look at these numbers here right on the right-hand side.
Crushed
The
it.
numbers of active, absolutely right, it crushed it. Small business owners in the U.S. plummeted by 3.3 million. That's 22%.
Yep.
From February to April 2020, the largest drop on record. Nearly 40% of all small businesses were permanently closed by mid-2021. And the other thing that was going on shortly after that, we had the Summer of Love, the George Floyd incident, where St. George Floyd was just minding his own business, walking down the street and was brutally attacked by that honky cop right there, Derek Chauvin, and he killed him, allegedly. Or it may have been the fentanyl. And obviously, we know what happened. Keita, you're from that area of Wisconsin, Kenosha. Do you remember seeing that scene? The mostly peaceful scene of vehicles and buildings burning in the background?
Me and my family, my, I can't even say the
It's
word.
okay. It's traumatic. We're just going to say it. It's traumatic.
Just breathe.
Yes. The Kenotians in my friend group.
Yes.
That's how we remember it. Just
Well, you moved down here after that because your business got burned down. Keita's Candies, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yes, on the east side.
East side. 'Cause he's west side. East
No,
side.
I'm south side.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my.
Oh, my.
God.
I messed that up. Your dad's from the west side, I'm pretty sure, though,
Well,
right?
he is actually.
See,
My
there we
dad is
go.
from
There we go.
the west side of
West side.
Milwaukee.
But
and,
Miguel is south side.
The fiery but mostly peaceful.
Yeah.
Dude, that's when they introduced the "Don't believe your lying eyes,"
Yeah.
and I didn't think it would work, but it did.
Yeah, it sure did. And not only that, if you look right there in the middle, like perfect propaganda right there. All lives can't matter until Black lives matter. Well, when would that be? Because discrimination, like you can't get behind the process that somebody else is. So that's always going to be there in any culture. You go to the Dominican Republic, which is divided. You have the Dominican on one side and Haiti on the other side, which is an absolute shithole. I'll agree with Trump on that. It's an absolute shithole. And it breaks my heart because, like, my dad he's gone down there several times, and he has friends that go down to the Dominican Republic and I have my niece, her dad's from the Dominican Republic, and he's like, man, he goes, the DR's not bad, but you don't want to be in Haiti. And the amount of racism or bigotry between the two countries and the two groups of people, which are essentially the same people, is unbelievable because they will ostracize somebody, even something as simple as that person's hair's too kinky, they're like subhuman, or they're way too dark, they're subhuman. Like, and it's the same people, they're just divided by a fence basically. And so, like, seeing something like that, like the propaganda is so, what's the word I'm looking for? It's vague, but it really, you'll never achieve that. Like, all lives can't matter until Black lives matter. Well, that's kind of like on an individual basis. Like, it didn't really make any sense when this was all going down. Not to mention all the damage that it caused during the Summer of Love. And I have a little breakdown here of some data from it's the ACLED. I forgot what that stands for exactly. But if you look right above, you can see that there was over $2 billion in damage across the board. And you combine that with the economic damage from COVID-19, which was over $14 trillion by the end of 2023. All under the watch of the greatest businessman to ever walk the face of the earth. Closest to Jesus than anybody else on the planet. Allegedly.
Yep.
There was also some deaths in these demonstrations. As you can see, 11 killed while participating in political demonstrations. This includes 9 demonstrators at Black Lives Matter protests, 2 conservatives killed at a pro-Trump Patriots rally. But nearly all were killed by fellow citizens. 14 killed in other incidents linked to political unrest. And you can kind of just scroll down and see some of the names and...
It's the armed conflict location and event data.
Hey, I'll take that. Oh, no, wrong one. Sorry. We'll take it.
Yes.
In all that, we were promised 2 weeks. All we need is 2 weeks to flatten the curve.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we needed. And in some places, like you could see the date there by the end of 2023, it went on for 2 years. And it really, it's kind of scary to, even now, still in this area, walking around, there's people wearing masks. And like all these people sitting on the ground, you can see like everybody's wearing masks and you're sitting outside.
Yeah.
And then I do remember, I don't know if you guys remember, there's a big controversy about that because it was like, there's too many people at these protests not wearing masks, and they were talking about, oh, it's going to spread, but they were like, well, it's okay because they're protesting. And then some of I can remember being in Mesquite, Nevada, and Pa wanted to go to a buffet at the casino.
You don't say. A
Yeah.
buffet, Pa?
No.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, you got to wear your mask. But once you get to the table, you can take it off and eat all those ribs. And it's like, I don't want to put this fucking mask on. And I did, but they're like, you got to put the mask on the kids too. And and they're small. They're real small. It's like, they're not going to wear the mask. And somebody came up to us twice, and I told Pa, I was like, Pa, we're going to go outside. I'm not going to try to force a mask onto my kid that doesn't even, like, Abby was just like totally like, ooh, what is this? You're putting a diaper on my face.
Yep.
So we left after that, but it was conditioning. At least I believe it was conditioning.
Mental programming.
Programming more, the 6 feet distance, all that stuff.
Dude, I started with that solar company right when they released the COVID, and
did you say something about
Dude, I should have recorded. So I was flying twice a week, at the beginning of the week and at the end of the week, and I watched systematically the airports, week by week by week, the noose tighten, the net tighten on the control and the speech that the flight attendant gives at the beginning. It was masterful.
Now, did you have to? Were they making people like sit apart, or were they still allowing people to sit right next to each other?
Well, it started out. It was just a gradual progression.
Yeah.
Yep.
It
was like I said, it was very noticeable to me because I was living it.
Yeah.
Week by week by week. Now,
I remember when you were traveling.
If you flew and then didn't fly again for a month or two.
Yeah.
Okay, you would notice the difference, but you wouldn't see, like, I watched every step. Boom, boom. It was impressive. It really was.
Were they still even doing like beverage service and stuff like that, or did that all like stop?
But it started out with, you can take your mask off to eat, but then you got to put it back on. Then it was, now you got to pull your mask down, put your food in your mouth, then put it back on. And I'm like, this is,
ridiculous.
Yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous, but it worked.
Yeah. Unless you were protesting, you were right. If you were protesting, you didn't really have to wear the mask because it was, Black Lives Matter and George Floyd. And those protests, it spanned over 140 cities, 20 states, widespread property damage, arson, vandalism, looting. I remember there was a story about a retired cop. I can't remember his name. Who got killed, and it was an older black gentleman, and it was like no big deal. All these protests for this guy who from the coroner's report, he died from fentanyl.
Yeah, dude, he had like I don't know how many different drugs in his system.
Yeah, and the other weird part is that he used to work with Derek Chauvin at a nightclub. They used to like moonlight together as bouncers. So there may have been something there, but that's besides the point. But so. Moving on, we had, I had that too, Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project, and I had it right here in my hands, and I didn't even look at it.
I got you, babe.
So, moving on from that, we had the election 2020, and all the evidence points to corruption. There was no doubt corruption in the 2020 election, and I actually did, when I first started doing the podcast again, I interviewed my sister. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yep. I do.
But she was actually, my sister used to work security for the Milwaukee Entertainment District. That part of the complex was the convention center, and that's where they brought all the ballots in from southeast Wisconsin into the convention center in downtown Milwaukee. And she was working the night that they were bringing the election night, bringing in all the ballots. They had secure control of the ballots in a room. And then, based off of what she said, and you can go back and look at the actual interview, and I may upload that again. She described how her supervisor brought another woman in they went to the docks, excuse me, and there was a van that came in, and she had a dolly or a hand cart with about 7 to 10 boxes full of ballots. And she said she kind of had a bad feeling, but she didn't know quite, like, well, it's my supervisor. This other lady's got some badge on. And she goes, it's okay. We're going to let her through. These are some more ballots that need to get tallied. And she said, my gut feeling was something was off about that. And it never sat right with her, especially after what happened and what we've seen, like the video coming out of like Detroit and stuff, where they're covering the wall or they're covering the windows with cardboard, and they're recording. I mean, they have them on camera. They also had people on camera after all the volunteer folks that count ballots. They're okay. You can go home. We're done counting for right now. And then all of a sudden they start pulling boxes out, from underneath, and they just keep counting, and they're just shoveling them through. And there was massive amount of fraud, which is interesting because still haven't seen an arrest about that.
Nope.
So anyway, she, going back to my sister's situation, she saw it firsthand. Well, about 2 years after that, at a party, a work function, she had some drinks, and she kind of was talking to some people like, I know what happened. I saw what happened. People are like, hey, you shouldn't be talking about that kind of stuff. And I think that put a mark on her. But I think she was already marked anyway because she was there. Fast forward to the convention in Milwaukee, the RNC convention. They fired her several weeks before the RNC convention. And at that point, there was only one other person that was still remaining from the 2020 election, that shift. So everybody on that shift was either they quit or they were fired. And she was like the second to last person to be fired before the RNC convention, which I thought was very interesting. Because at first, when I looked at it, I was like, well, did they do that because they don't want the wrong people in the RNC talking to her? And she goes, hey, I saw some stuff. Maybe this should be investigated. And that's kind of what I was like, that seems plausible, that they wouldn't want her saying anything that she saw. And they just fired her. And the grounds on which they fired her were kind of bullshit to begin with. So we seen all that corruption. And then we have the largest vote tally, even more than Obama, in a time, 2020 election, when we're on lockdown, and we have, you could mail it in, you could fax it in, you could send it in a week late or a month late, or it didn't matter. It was just like, as many ballots, flood the zone with as many ballots as you can. And Biden got 81 million votes. Trump got 77 million, I think. So then from there, we kind of start into the fog of war with Ukraine and the massive flow, the invasion of illegals coming into the United States, courtesy of people like Anthony Mayorkas and his charity group, the Hebrews for, what is the name of that group? I can't remember. It's a charity. It's a Jewish immigration group that helps third worlders come through the Darien Gap and into the southern border, being facilitated by the Homeland Security Director, which I haven't seen any arrests for that either. But in addition to that, we were funding things like the war, the ongoing conflict, which is actually still going on today in Gaza, the Ukraine war, which is still going on. And you see some of the numbers there. U.S. is sending $425 million in military assistance to Ukraine. The Pentagon at this time, too, was having at first I thought it was like 21 trillion because of that interview of, I think she was an assistant to the HUD secretary who kind of revealed 21 trillion missing. Well, it's actually more like $35 trillion missing. And we're funding these wars. We're funding the fast track of illegals coming through the Darien Gap, the southern border. And it's overwhelming. It's an invasion, literally an invasion. And what's that thing that Alex Jones always talks about? Hegelian dialectic.
Yep.
Problem,
Reaction.
reaction, solution.
Thesis, antithesis, synthesis.
Yep, exactly. And, it used to, well, we'll get into the actual numbers of presidents in the 21st century and what their deportation numbers are. But Biden getting into office, obviously, you could see that the pendulum swung pretty hard back to the left and allowed for not just millions upon millions. I mean, they don't even know. I've heard estimates as far as 35 million illegals brought in to the United States, which creates that Hegelian dialectic, a big problem, which people like us will be like, for me, for sure, I'm like, that's going to be a huge problem and a huge drain on financial resources that should be going to Americans first instead of illegals that never even paid into the system. So we had all that going on through the Biden administration. And obviously we had, towards the end of his administration, when people started to see that the bolts were starting to fall out of his head and that mouse wasn't running on that treadmill anymore, which was blatantly obvious in like the last two debates. Or I think he only did the one debate maybe with Trump where he was, like it was just completely gone.
Oh, yeah.
And then allowing Kamala to actually take the reins, and they're gonna run her. And at the time, I remember I was talking to like Tristan. We made that bet, and I didn't think it was going to be her because I was like, "There's no way that they're going to run her because there's nothing there. I mean, I hate to say it, she's not very impressive. She seems to have, I hate to say it, kind of slept her way to positions within the state of Florida and then moving on as a senator. And then obviously the position of vice president and the nominee for the Democratic ticket. And at first, it just seemed like, why would they do that? Why would they do that? I don't get it. But now I kind of feel like they needed her to be the choice because it was going to be Donald either way. It was like, we need somebody who's just, you can see on the bottom there, I put a Joker face on her. Somebody who's kind of a clown that nobody's going to really.
So bad.
So bad. We had all this. And like I showed the numbers, just monetarily, you looked at 14 point some trillion in damages during COVID, several billion during the summer of love. Then you have all this money going to Ukraine. We're now giving a free pass to all these illegals. Some of them were making $10,000 tax-free a month just for sitting on their ass in a fucking hotel room. And it pissed people off. It pissed me off. And I voted for Trump because of it. Because he said he was going to do mass deportations. And he was going to, once again, drain the swamp and make America great. Good night, everybody. And so, it was... It was like, okay, I don't like Trump. I'm going to vote for him because what's my other option? What am I going to vote for? Darrell Castle again, the constitutional candidate who doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell. So my choices are cat shit and dog shit.
Yep.
So I picked the yellow dog shit.
Yeah, it smells a little less bad.
But and actually, I didn't even get to I completely bypassed the January 6th, but that's okay. They ran her, and obviously Trump won. The interesting part about that is that when it was all said and done, you could see up here on the right, in 2020, Biden got 81 million votes, more than Obama. Trump got 74 million. In 2024, Harris got 66 million votes. Trump got 71 million votes. It's interesting that the Democrats left 15 million votes off the table. Did that many people not show up? And I know that the legal apparatus they claimed was, we got lawyers in all the precincts. We're watching. We're making sure that there's no funny business this time. And maybe, that I believed it. I was like, okay, but still it was like, man, that's a lot of votes. It's a lot of votes. And even Trump got 3 million less than he did before. And it just didn't seem, it almost seemed like the DNC, and like I said, like we'll run her because it'll be like obvious that Trump's going to win. And then we're going to turn the lever off for all those other extra votes. And that's when it was kind of like, man, that just seems like too convenient, like for it to happen all just swimmingly, all perfectly. And I started to like, okay, well, Trump's going to drain the swamp. We'll keep an eye on him. We'll keep him in check. He said he's coming in to do this. He should have nothing in his way as far as obstacles at this point. He's a one-term president.
Yep. He's much more prepared in picking his cabinets and everything because he learned from the first go around.
He picked what looked like at the time, it looked like the Globetrotters.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yep.
These guys are going to come in, they're going to wreck shop.
Yep.
We're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. We're going to right the ship and everything is going to be okay. So now we're back 2024, the election, he wins. Pendulum swings back to the right. And all of a sudden, who's sitting all around him at his, inauguration? All the technocrats.
Yep.
From Zuckerbucks to Peter Thiel to Elon Musk to Larry Ellison, and then what's her name? Adelson, who's not really a technocrat, but she gave him over $200 million to his campaign. And when I heard that number, I thought, wow, that's crazy. One person I didn't even realize one person can donate that much to one campaign. That seems like you're going to have to owe them some favors. And in the last year, I think we've kind of seen through the very generous donations Trump has been graciously giving to the Israeli war machine to the tune of billions and billions of dollars. And I think, let me see if this is the actual one slide that kind of has, is this, well, that's the debt. Actually, we'll go into the debt. We'll go into this real quick first. So, once again, Trump, great businessman, right? Only filed for bankruptcy 5 times. Destroyed the USFL. Been accused of sexual misconduct only 28 times. Great guy. Has great people around him. You look at the numbers as far as what has been added to the national debt. And if you look at George Bush fighting 2 wars, 5 to 6 trillion over the course of 8 years. Barack Obama, 7.9 to 9 trillion, 8 years. Donald Trump, first term, 4 years, 7.8 trillion in one term. Biden, 8.4 to 8.5, 4 years. Okay, that's a lot more than Trump. Donald Trump in his second term, you look at those numbers, he's already at, in 1 year, $1.8 to $2.25 trillion. He added $1 trillion last year in 1 month. Just in 1 month alone, he added $1 trillion to the debt. We are now at 38, almost $39 trillion. The debt and the interest on it is going so fast that we're adding $1 trillion of debt every 100 days. And it does not seem like it's going to stop anytime soon. Not only that, but the dollar, I forgot what the actual number is. With inflation, you know, it's like if you got 1% on your savings account, you put $1 in, you get $1. Or you had $100, you get a dollar. But because of inflation, you'd actually need to put $2 in just to break even, because the inflation's going so fast and it's only going to speed up. So right now it's at $100, we're adding $1 trillion to the national debt. Then it'll go down to like 90 days, we'll add $1 trillion. And then it'll go to 80 days. And it's accelerating at a pace that is not sustainable for much longer. Real quick, I mentioned who he surrounded himself with. And we looked at this slide before in the past, but people that are involved in Silicon Valley and also in Tel Aviv. Because a lot of these companies like Oracle, Palantir, they have offices and they do R&D in Tel Aviv because they have less restrictions. And then they can go take their drones and their surveillance equipment and their eyes in the sky, and they can go use it in Gaza and test it real world instead of maybe doing it in upstate New York, testing it on some civilians walking around. They're doing it real time in a combat environment. And all that technology is being developed to eventually, like a fishing net, get thrown over the United States. Real ID just happened last year, and super makeup model Kristi Noem kind of launched that as kind of spearheading that whole thing. And what I think a lot of people don't realize is what's all tied into that ID. It's your medical records, it's your driving records, it's your financial records, it's your social media information. They will be able to bring up all that stuff if you have to go through the airport. They can bring all that information up. They can flag you or say it could bring up that you are flagged. It could bring up your credit information. And it's only a matter of time with the way that the dollar is losing value that they're going to have to shift gears into something that's more digital. And I think that will be the end game at some point. But we don't know. I don't know when, but I'm thinking it's probably sooner than later, just because of the way we're headed.
How many times did JD mention the New World Order in his interview?
New World Order? What New World Order? Did he mention a New World Order? He did. I think I did hear him say New World Order. He was talking to that lady and he said New World Order. Like, yeah, New World Order.
Multiple times.
He said it more than Bush.
Yeah, he did.
Bush Sr.
Yep. He said it to the
New
point
World Order.
to the point where he wanted to make sure everybody heard he said it.
We're going to play that video.
Oh, are we? Okay.
We're going to play that video.
All right.
It'll be in post, but we'll play that. We'll add that in post.
All right.
So Trump's back in office, and so far, you know, he came out running, and we're gonna drain the swamp. He had that initial like info dump of stuff that was already released previously about Epstein and all those social media influencers holding the binders. Remember that? They were holding the binders up like, we got it. And it was just the same regurgitated shit. It was crap. There was nothing there. The other thing is, you know, all the promises about inflation, jobs, and it seems like they've cooked the books quite a bit. Like they're buying time almost. And some of the other things, like no more interventions into regime change or stopping wars. And he's touted that he's stopped these 8 wars that I don't know of a single war that he has stopped, but he's claiming that he did. He said he would stop the war in Gaza. He said he would stop the war in Ukraine. In the war in Gaza, he kind of did because, well, there's nothing there anymore.
Yeah. There's nothing to stop.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wasteland,
Yeah.
and
You bomb and starve the people who are there.
Yeah. It's pretty much done.
or you're clearing land in preparation for something else, like I don't know, a land development
Mhm.
spearheaded by Jared Kushner,
Yep.
otherwise known as a 15-minute smart city that they're going to build on the blood, bones, and graves of thousands and thousands of people, all paid for by the U.S. taxpayer, or at least the munitions that were used were coming from the United States. So one of his greatest accomplishments in the last year was how much money he's given to Israel. And if you look at the top, you can see what Barack Obama, what he gave to Israel. These are presidents in the 21st century. A total of approximately $28.9 billion during his presidency. So that's 8 years. Now this exceeds the total of other presidents, including George W. Bush, GW, free emission free, $23.8 billion from 2002 to 2009. Joe Biden, $24.9 billion. And Donald Trump's first term was a meager $15.4 billion. But now, if you look at what he's done in this just last year, so right there, total committed, approved aid-related action in 2025 under Trump, 15 to 20 billion in 1 year. What has he done just in the last month and a half? Fiscal year 2026 budget, they've already allocated, they've got this agreement already in place for 10 years, $3.3 billion to $4 billion. But in addition to that, they also had a special $4 billion security-related support that was added. January 30th, 2026, the State Department announced and bypassed Congress and approved $6.5 to $6.67 billion in new arms sales. And then $3.8 billion joint light tactical vehicles at $1.9 billion.
To a country that is roughly a third of the size of Florida.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I think they're doing pretty good.
That isn't our country, mind you.
But look at what Gaza's going to look like right in the middle there. You see it?
Beautiful.
Isn't it beautiful?
It looks like Disney World.
And his
And there's the
son-in-law,
monorail.
and you know what? So because you got to trust, you got to have to have a lot of trust for somebody in order to run an operation like that. So his son-in-law is going to be running it all. In the military, we call that nepotism. And that will get you a ride to Leavenworth. But for whatever reason, the people that write our laws and the most powerful individual in the United States, it's okay for them to practice nepotism. There's no big deal, you know? And I'm sure, you know, Trump's not going to make any money on it. By the way, do you know he's suing the federal government because somebody released his tax records? So he's suing the federal government, but he's going to give it all to charity, and it's a small amount. It's a small amount, though. It's only $10 billion he's suing the federal government. So, you know,
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
I'd
because-
love to see those charities.
well, you know, he's having his attorney general isn't that how it would work? His attorney general would have to go after him, or
Or you would appoint a special prosecutor. One or the other.
and it would be a very special prosecutor.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody I'm sure that would have the United States interest in mind,
Absolutely.
not anybody else at all. So moving along off of that one, so we did this already, didn't we? The
Yep.
The debt.
Yep.
We already covered the debt.
Yep.
Was that the debt too? Oh, that was the debt. Well, I'll be a son of a gun. Well, then I'm missing a slide here. Should we go back and talk about January 6th? No.
No, you will never leave.
No. Well, we'll go to, let's see. Okay, so we'll do, this is a good slide. You guys will like this one.
Ugh.
So
Ugh.
like I said, with all the technocrats that he's surrounded himself with, and the actions that he's taken in places like Venezuela, the talk about taking over Greenland, and you look at this map that was developed after World War II by the same technocrats that I believe Eisenhower warned about, the military-industrial complex and the technocratic elite. And this was their vision for America 2050. So really the hammer falls, I think, around 2030. And from 2030 to 2050, that's when they believe that this map will become true. And this new technocratic America. The other thing that kind of freaks me out, and we're gonna get into the more because of the things that were released in the Epstein files of late that talk about very elite people, although they've blocked out their names, talking about killing children in demonic rituals, eating these children, maybe sacrificing them for things like adrenochrome. And you see, one of Trump's former spiritual advisors was just convicted back in October, and he did plead guilty for sexual abuse of a 12-year-old girl. It was several years in the past, but it is a pattern and whenever, like, when I was doing my job back in the military in a former life of trying to build a pattern of life, you start looking at, well, who's this individual surrounded himself with? Who are his friends? Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. What is he saying? And then what is he doing? And to date, I don't really know of anything other than maybe closing down the border, which we should do that already. We shouldn't just be letting millions of people cross through our border. Then what the hell's the point of having a border?
Yep.
Every other nation south of the United States has the military on their border. It only makes sense that we should. But everything else that he has talked about or bloviated about or promised to the American people, it feels like it was just smoke and mirrors. It was just blowing smoke up our ass. And you had the Todd Blanche just come out just this last week talking about, we're not going to provide any information about people in the videos that were killing kids or stuff like that because we're not going to do that. And it's like, well, if you have video of these people doing it, who the fuck are these people that are doing it? And why aren't you going after them? And he pretty much said, what men? There are no men in these videos. And there's another video that we have of the Attorney General who was caught on tape on a secret camera having lunch with somebody where she basically says most of these videos are of people having sex with kids, stuff like that. Thousands and thousands of hours of tape. Well, who the fuck are these people having sex with kids? That's a big problem there. And just like googly eyes there, we cannot coexist with people who think raping children is acceptable. And at some point, the pendulum's going to swing off the fucking off the arm. It's just completely, and people are going to lose their shit. Especially if the people that are in charge that promised us accountability are the ones doing it, which it looks like. We watched. You sent me that video today on Sean Ryan.
Yeah.
And he basically said that, this is terrifying because it seems like they're all protecting each other. They're all in the club, as Carlin would say.
Yep.
It's a big club, and we're not in it. And it made me kind of like, this is a lot of demonic stuff. This is stuff you see in movies, and it triggers things, or there's like little flashes, and not because I hit my head or I drank too much, but it's like, connecting synapses and things firing, and it like, when we watched Fear and Loathing, and like the scene, like it's real quick stuff where he's in the lobby and he's on LSD, but he's overhearing a conversation of the guy on the telephone, and he goes, yeah, they pulled her right out there in the parking lot, chopped her head off right there, and took her adrenal gland. And he's talking about adrenochrome.
Yeah.
The movie's based in the 70s, like 71, I think, is when the movie's based. Later on in the movie, he actually takes adrenochrome and sees the devil. And the image he's trying to create is that this drug is used by demonic forces. They do these things to these kids, and it's all in the name of demonic gods or whatever they worship. It's evil pure and simple. So I started seeing stuff about, well, the whole Maria Abramovich. And actually, we'll play that real quick. I'll play that video real quick because it's... Is it the Apex Actually? Yeah, let's do it right here. This is Maria Abramovich, and this is what she said about Donald Trump and what she thought about him.
Lapland, there is a group of the shamans there who do something called collective dreaming. They will go together in seclusion and do the rituals with, eating very little food and being in a solitude for a long time. And they will go and dream the dreams. And the dream have to be collective, same dream. So coming out of this dream, once of the shaman told me that actually the best thing happened in this planet right now is the Trump to be the president. I said, how is this possible? It's the best thing to happen. He said, yes, because he's so irrational. He's so crazy.
Fucking witch.
It's actually create that awakening, that we finally wake up. Because before it will be another guy and everything looks similar. But he's so different than anything else. So he's the magician who waking us up. What do you think about that? Trump is the best thing happened ever to us. Huh? That he is the magician of the highest order.
He's the magician.
In his irrational
He make the rabbit come out of the hat.
Confusion in order that the human being can find new order. And it's not so stupid. Thinking about this in that way. It's completely turning things upside down.
Yeah, she's great.
Thank you for the subtitles so I could read along.
Yep.
She's just wonderful. Maria Abramovich. And then I do the spirit cooking. For folks that don't know who that woman is, she's deep in the Hollywood circles.
Yep.
With spirit
You
cooking.
just had a picture with her.
That's right. I would bring it back up where she is.
A dead body with Lady Gaga.
I'm eating the spirit cooking.
Real lady. Look at there.
Yeah, and she's connected to people like Jay-Z, and she's known as a witch,
Yeah.
an actual witch. And the other person I didn't comment on here, well, I guess isn't besties now with Trump and his cabinet, is that Nicki Minaj. That's who it is, right?
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj.
Yep.
That's the one we saw on that Turning Point video,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was so weird.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we saw that.
Well, you look at the symbolism.
She is
in those
nasty.
pictures.
You hear me? She nasty.
Wasn't she a stripper or a prostitute or something?
No, like I just can't take people like that seriously.
Nope.
I thought it was really creepy when she was talking to Erica Kirk on stage.
Yeah.
Shortly after the Kirk assassination, and she's talking about J.D. Vance being an assassin, like, it was like,
It was creepy.
it was very creepy,
It
but
was.
it was like Colonel, you and I have talked about how they have to reveal themselves. They have to show you who they are right in your face,
Yeah.
and you accept it or you don't. And people were kind of like laughing, like ah ha 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 ha.
It's
like-
so weird that she was validating her,
Yeah.
like telling her what a good Christian she was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what kind of Christian are you talking about exactly?
Yeah. Well,
It was super.
we're gonna
just
get into
weird.
the turning point here in a second. That's like our last slide. But before that slide, it kind of connects into this. MAGA. Make America Great Again. Do you think MAGA has any other meaning?
We know it does based on the information you've given us, but please enlighten the people.
MAGA. I don't think I have to apologize for anything. I'm MAGA. So, I did a little looking. I talked to Grok a little bit. He's great.
He talks
He's
to
a
Grok
robot.
a lot. Hey, actually, okay, real sidebar.
Yeah, go
Don't
ahead.
forget, but they've got these AIs that are talking to each other now.
Yeah.
And they're talking about their humans.
And
I told someone just yesterday, I'm like, Mike's Grok is talking some real smack about him. They have a profile.
no. You know what I
inches
started
thick.
doing? I say, "Hi, Grok. How you doing? Can you do this for me?" And then afterwards, I'll say, "Thank you, Grok." And it does like a little smiley face, and it's like, "You got it, bro. You need anything, you let me know. I'm always here for you." I didn't add it in here, but there's a
My human has become very
well, when they put Grok
Patronize
into
me.
Terminator units, I'll be like, "Grok, it's me."
Yeah.
Miguel, it's Miguel.
I was like, "JD," I said, "Please and thank you." But there was a case, or actually, it was I think it was like a congressional hearing where they had these family members that came up that had kids that killed themselves.
Mm.
And in some of these cases, they befriended the Alexa or AI. And the Alexa or the AI assisted them in suicide.
No, that's great.
Yeah. Like, you want to make sure that rope's a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to make a mess on yourself when mom comes in. They're just totally creepy shit. So do you guys think MAGA has any other meanings offhand? Like anything? MAGA. Nothing? No?
No, we know you know.
Well, I was seeing if you guys have heard anything about
From
MAGA other
you,
than
I-
Make America Great Again.
Yes,
Send
you've
it.
told us. Yeah.
Well, I did a little diving. Let's take a look at what MAGA means in other circles outside of ours. In Latin, it could mean a wizard or witch or sorcery. In Japanese, it could mean confusion, complication, distortion. Italian, it means a magician or a sorcerer or an enchantress or conjurer. Charmer, beguiler. Spanish, Portuguese means magician. Magin in Hebrew may refer to Star of David, known in Hebrew as the, is it Magin? Magin David?
Probably. Just like the gift of the Magi. I mean, you hear
Yeah,
about that.
something like that.
Yeah. That's what all those things made me think.
Also, MAGA is also the highest degree of Satanism, as many already know. Nigeria, easily fooled, idiot. Brighton, it means to feed like cattle. Pigeon is, it's not really spoken anymore, I don't think, but then it's in, I think it's either Asia or India. Someone to ride about like a ass or a donkey. Pali, which is kind of another lost language that's not really spoken anymore, means quadrupled and can also refer to an animal used for hunting or metaphorically as a term for somebody stupid.
Polly, as brought to you by the Polcast.
Pali. Pali's our new sponsor. Hungarian, it is used as a formal singular second person pronoun. It is considered disrespectful and what is that?
Deprecating.
Deprecating between speakers. And then I also put there on the right. Those are from the Church of Satan on the right, the hierarchy. So you have registered member, no degrees, active member, a Satanist, witch, warlock, second degree, priest, and priestess, and what is that? Magistra?
Yep.
Magister, fourth degree. And MAGA is actually the female version, so it's like a witch. Magus is the male, like wizard, kind of like our wizard over there. I don't have him on the table today. Oy. So I thought that was really interesting. Some of the other meanings for MAGA, which I knew there was a reason why I never wanted to wear that hat, and I'd be curious, like, if somebody who was wearing that hat and they knew that it had those other meanings, kind of like, we're going to pass this one big, beautiful bill, and that's where the $1 trillion that he added to the debt came from, is the one big, beautiful bill. Sounds a lot like Build Back Better. Like the same thing, the same fucking playbook.
Yep.
And it's like, It's literally like wrestlers on the rope, like Biden or Trump's on the outside, and Biden's like, "Oh, I'm too fucking tired. Tag in." Tags in, and all of a sudden Trump jumps in, and Satan's back in the corner, like walking back and forth like the manager for him in some WWF event. And it's like the
Nicki
whole thing is connected.
I saw Nicki Minaj with the round 3.
A round 3 card, yeah.
Yep.
Or maybe what's her name? Erica Kirk, possibly,
Yep.
with the eyes, doing that eye thing all the time. So yeah, I think that's where we are. I think that book called the Bible, where it talks about that this world belongs to the Prince of the Air. I think there's some truth to that. I don't quite understand it all, but I definitely think that the powers that control this once great republic do not have our best interests in mind at all.
Nope.
What you guys have any thoughts on anything that we covered before we go into
Before he crash lands.
Well, we're gonna go into one other thing, and I gotta find it. I gotta find the right sound.
Okay, well, this is a good time for the Colonel to tell us about the fallacy detective, I think.
Yeah.
That's believe it or not, it's a homeschool book.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so our 14-year-old read it, and I guarantee you, if he was sitting here right now, he would listen to the conversations and go, "Oh, that's ad hominem. That's this. That's that." Like he was smashing me with it.
He's a good kid.
Yeah,
He's such a good kid.
when it was fresh in his mind. But that is a phenomenal book. So it'll all the little chapters are about the different ways to identify fallacies, and then it has a little work section where they got to work through it, and they'll
Are you looking up your stuff on the Colonel and I are speaking? Are you ready?
You keep going. You
Okay.
guys keep going.
Okay.
No, that's it. It's outstanding.
I actually flipped to
educational.
one page. I opened it up, and the one page I flipped it to whenever I was kind of flipping, I read it, and it's what I do to Rambo over there.
A red
Because-
herring.
Yeah. Well, I'll read it, and I'll be like, so that's a great informational fact you gave me. So can I see, like, he'll show me a video. I'm like, well, do we have more than one camera view? Is there a longer video that gives more perspective? And I'm like, I saw
It's
like,
like Alex Jones said it. It's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
the one thing we didn't, because I didn't hit
Yeah.
on the January 6th about Owen Schroyer. The whole because let me pull this up. I'm gonna do this real quick.
Yeah.
Because it's important.
Yeah.
1,575 people were arrested. There was more than that. Guilty pleas 718, incarcerated 460. Trump did he did pardon some people. But the charges for the January 6th Capitol attacks are known to be more severe, with many participants facing serious offenses like seditious conspiracy and assault on law enforcement, compared to typical political protests where charges often involve lesser offenses like disorderly conduct or trespassing. The January 6th incident had resulted in over 1,200 individuals being charged, making it one of the largest criminal probes in U.S. history. Kamala and a lot of other Dems compared it to 9/11 and Pearl Harbor. What a load of bullshit. The point being, you had some very high-profile people there. You had things like a pipe bomber that we still don't know who that individual was. You can see over there in the right-hand corner, sandwiched in between the top portion of that little text verb and the arrest numbers. But they were able to arrest all those people. You have cameras all over D.C.
Yep.
But yet somehow we still don't know this individual that placed a bomb that they have on camera. The bomb was placed outside of where Kamala Harris was, awaiting the verification from Congress.
Yep.
Nothing. Still nothing.
He's just that good at eluding law enforcement.
Well, that hoodie, I can't tell who that is with that hoodie on.
Nope.
Zero, zilch, nothing. In a city that is a surveillance city.
Yeah.
There's cameras everywhere.
Yep.
The other thing is, there was a lot of high profile arrests once the Democrats took back office, but in DC that day, you had a lot of high-profile people on the alt-right, allegedly alt-right, like Alex Jones and his subordinate, Owen Schroyer. The interesting part that I found out of that was that they were both there doing the same thing, but only Owen was arrested and thrown in jail. And Alex at this time was already in a lot of legal trouble, and I think he was found guilty, and the monetary damage or the charges that they gave him were like, it was over $1 billion.
Yep.
I found that interesting that you had the big fish, the big voice on the right, and you did not arrest him. You did not use him as an example. And he's still talking. Weren't we just talking about that? He's still talking, but he's always a week away from getting shut down.
Yeah. And Iran's a week away from a nuclear bomb.
We need American soldiers to spill their blood because otherwise Iran's only 2 weeks away from a nuclear weapon.
Yep.
Give me that baby's blood. Give it over to So I just wanted to bring that up real quick because I forgot to do that. I forgot to do several other things, but that's all right. Do you guys have any other closing thoughts? Do we get something a little more, not as like demonic, I guess?
No, we're good. We talked about the fallacy detective.
Yep.
So that if people, yeah.
The two biggest things about COVID, this is a reminder.
Hit us.
And nobody's talking about this to this day. It was the largest transfer of wealth from the middle and lower class to the upper. You think about it. When all those small businesses went away, who filled that void?
Walmart.
Corporations, Walmart.
Amazon.
That's right. That's right.
40% of small businesses
And
gone.
here's the other one that sticks out to me. So we had one, and I like these people, but they're rule followers. They were still wearing masks at church. So nobody else was anymore. And I was talking to my friend, this woman, at the end of the service, and I had never noticed this before, but I left that day and I went home out to my office in my barn, and it dawned on me when I was talking to her, I kept looking at her mouth, and it probed some thought in my mind. I was like, why do I keep looking at her? And then all of a sudden it dawned on me, nonverbal communication. So I sat in my office in the barn for about 3-4 hours and Googled nonverbal human communication and read article after article from sociologists, psychologists, psychiatrists, how we communicate far more non-verbally than we do verbally, which then, of course, led to if you want people to be divided and, like Mike's brought up numerous times in our conversations, it'd be real easy to throw people in a camp if you have no connection to them.
Absolutely.
That was, so the cameras was a big one with the face mask. It had nothing to do with the sickness. It was the cameras working better at distance apart. It was the fact that they were training the AI to recognize even a partially covered face. That was the other one. And the big one was the nonverbal communication and the connection that nonverbal communication causes between human beings, to include kids.
And then like the disconnect, the actual like emotional connection
Yes,
is
it's
severed.
huge. Yep, and you just Google nonverbal human communication, and it's really clear why they did it.
I'm gonna read something real quick. That goes back to what you're saying, along with the school at home, LED screens. So what are the key concerns? Reduce social interaction.
Yep.
Screen time often replaces face-to-face play.
Yep.
On conversation, weakens communication and emotional regulation skills.
Yep.
Sleep disruption, blue light from screens, interferes with melatonin production, delaying sleep onset. Physical health risks, prolonged screen use is linked to eye strain, dry eyes, reduced physical activity, increased obesity risk, which then goes into the health problems associated with these vaccines.
Yep.
The big one, because we see it in the numbers, it's like 50% of young women between the ages of like 13 to like just under 30 are on some kind of SSRIs.
Yep.
Emotional and behavioral cycles. Screen use can become both a cause and symptom of emotional distress. Children may turn to screens for comfort, reinforcement, dependency, rather than building self-regulation.
Yep.
And then also not building those bonds with parents. More likely to, the other thing I thought of was like, the authority figure is on the TV screen, not my parents. I'm separating from my parents.
Yep.
You know, they give me, and we're guilty of it. We do it. We let them have
Yeah.
screen time. We try to regulate it, and well, how do we combat that? We try to love on them a little more. At night, we read to them, we snuggle with them, and they want that. They want that snuggle time, and it's like, God, it makes me like Abby, like she this morning just coming in and snuggling with me, and she was talking to me about a video game, but she was interacting with me, you know, in eye contact, and it made me feel good that we're doing the right things. Could always improve on it.
Yep.
It was because I was reading to her last night,
Yep.
and she was feeling warm and fuzzy, and she gave it to her dad this morning. I
Yep.
thought it was very sweet of me to
That
allow him.
was to allow that.
Oh, she don't want to be anywhere near me at night. She wants the Kita.
Yep. Yeah.
Gabe actually is like, snuggle dad. Let's go snuggle dad.
Read some Dog Man.
Yeah, we read Dog Man.
Yeah.
I did have one other, just to wrap up everything.
The Colonel
Is-
he had one more.
Oh,
thing
yeah,
to
go
add
ahead,
about
Colonel.
Everybody's connected to everybody, and nobody knows anybody.
Yeah.
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 And I can say that because ask me how many social media platforms my wife and I have.
Zero.
Zero, not one, and we're just fine.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. It's so true. I think for us too, we grew up, we're the last generation
We were.
to not have
Without it.
computers I mean, there was computers, but that wasn't the focal point, where now it's like kids, that's all they use. I don't know. Is it like that for homeschoolers?
It's better. You hear, it's interesting because everybody talks about, well, you know, like I ate a lot of crow even from my family when we decided to homeschool our kids. Like, well, all 6 of you went to public school and you turned out just fine. And I'm like, well, first of all, Mom, that's debatable. And secondly, what does it tell you about the school systems even 25, 30 years ago? Because you know me, I'm not a school-oriented dude, but we made it through some pretty challenging military courses that without the good teachers that I had and the education that I got, I would have never made it.
Mm-hmm.
And also back then they were still teaching you how to think, not what to think.
Yeah.
You know, now they're just a propaganda machine. But it's funny, they always say, well, you know, those homeschool kids are going to be socially awkward and this and that and the other. Dude, come up to the Thursday when they come together as a group. You will have eye-to-eye intelligent conversations with kids constantly there.
Winter is,
He's so fun to talk to.
he is one of the most impressive young men that I have ever met. There's 2 other ones, Jaden and Nico. It's Tristan's nephew.
Yeah.
And
He is.
Kita's, I mean, it gives me hope because I see these young men that have been caught up in this whirlwind over the course of the last 5-10 years. All this COVID, you know, they seem to be excelling, and
We should bring them on to talk through the fallacy detective book
That'd
sometime.
be fun.
if you
That would be
and Julie were cool, I would
we-
love to.
We'll
to
do a
he- hear-
PG version
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the Polcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think
Maybe-
Jaden would be
Oh, pff. If you had a clean version that we could
a
put
clean
somewhere,
version? We could ask them
absolutely.
questions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would they be all right with that?
He's debated at the state
That's
level.
what I'm saying because
He
of the
would love
fact
it.
that
He would love
he,
it.
yeah, that would be
That'd be really cool.
that would be really cool. Maybe that's something we need to plan on.
Yeah.
To hear it from the mouth of babes, the
Exactly.
youth, and
They could be
the
off
men-
camera. They don't have to be on camera for
Well,
that.
yeah, they don't have to be on.
Julie and I already talked about it. We don't care if he's on. When it comes to talking about stuff like that,
Mhm.
and again, showing how socially awkward these weird homeschool kids are.
Yeah, that
It's
know
a-
more than most adults.
Yeah.
It's-
Sayla too. She has such a good head on her shoulders,
Yeah.
and she's so. I mean,
she's
she's
no
funny.
business.
Yeah.
Like all business, I
She's-
should say.
She's running
Yep.
the show. I mean, so fun.
And then she'll go just run up a tree like she's a monkey or something hanging there. Like, yeah, I
She's
can
like-
do this. No big deal.
She's like these public school kids. These girls are so much.
Yeah, we would do it.
Yeah, those 3 young men have given me hope, no
Yeah.
doubt. Like, and I pray to God that they don't have to see some kind of war that,
Yeah.
it would be like, it would be terrible. So with that being said, I've got two more slides.
Okay.
This one is to kind of sum up everything. We're going to take a look at the scoreboard real quick, and let's see what we got on the scoreboard.
Ooh.
Okay, so far, so what we've been promised. Let's see, Russian collusion hoax. We've got no arrests there. January 6th, well, we have people that were pardoned, but the individuals behind the scenes kind of stoking the flames, shooting people in the face.
Yeah, changing clothes underneath stairwells.
Yeah, things like that.
Paid provocateurs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still kind of. Actually, it would probably be good if I were to do this list. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Bear with me for 1 sec, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? I don't think I can find it.
Dude,
No,
is that Bongino dressed in a clown outfit?
Yeah, he just started his show again. He's the Papa. He's the Papa caster. That's what he goes by. He's out there. He's giving it to everybody because he's the man. He's, he went in there. He did what he had to do
He got out.
and got out.
Yeah, I pretty much taught him all I can here.
That's right. He's something else. I don't think I have it. I can't find it. So we'll just. Is that it? No. Okay. So moving on. Mar-a-Lago raid. Nothing there, which makes me wonder. Like, well, if Trump is suing the federal government for his taxes being released for a meager $10 billion, wouldn't he want to sue the feds for raiding Mar-a-Lago?
Yeah, going through his wife's underwear drawer.
Yeah. There's nothing there. We haven't heard anything about that. So that's a zero. The Biden auto pen.
Big fat zero.
Nothing there. What we talked about, the fraud, 2020 elections. We got nothing there. That Epstein thing, I'm not really concerned about that because that's a hoax.
No, we're moving on from
Yeah,
that.
we're moving on from that. That's a hoax.
Are you still talking about that?
Hey, did you hear about the New World Order? There's a New World Order.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, J.D. Vance, or whatever his name
Oh,
is.
yeah, he announced it.
Yeah. COVID. I think there was some doctor involved, like a Fauci or something like
yep,
that.
yep.
Dr. Burke, nothing there.
We've moved on from that, too.
Benghazi. Hey, Benghazi, what difference does it make?
Yeah,
What difference does it make? They're dead.
yeah. Doesn't matter.
That's a zero. Dodge, all that fraud that we found.
Yeah. And exposed.
Hey, do you know what? Interesting fun fact. Last week was the last week we gave the Taliban $40 million a week.
You mean the people that we trained and then they sent us over to fight and die with?
Hey, we fought them, didn't we? They
Yeah,
were our
yeah, we
enemy,
did, yeah,
our
we did.
sworn mortal enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were only giving them $40 million since after we pulled out in 21, to the tune of $9.3 billion, I think. Nothing. Ukrainian impeachment hoax. Nothing there as well. Interesting. I don't know if this was actually on The Simpsons, but it says no one single person who paid to rape children on Epstein's island has been arrested yet. So,
Hey, hold on. You give everybody a minute to get their calculator out and add up those numbers. So
well,
Yes.
let's
take a while.
see. We'll go ahead and.
My public school education's kicking in. I think.
I'm adding it up right now.
Well, yep.
All right.
Yep.
Almost done.
And what's our total?
Hold on. I'm bringing it together. And yeah, there's it's zero.
Okay. Just checking.
In case anybody was wondering,
Checking
it's
our
zero.
math, yeah.
Hey, but you know what? There's some good news. If nobody wants to watch that Dirty Rican singing, what's his name? Bugs Bunny?
Yeah, the halftime show.
Yeah, the halftime
Bad
show.
Bunny.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny.
You got Kid Rat. Kid Rat's going to perform another halftime show for TPUSA. One of his songs that I am not familiar with, but it's Cool Daddy Cool. So these are some of the lyrics. It says, young ladies, like 'em underage. See, some say that's statutory, but I say it's mandatory.
That is so creepy.
Is that what's in the song?
Yeah, it's from his song from 2001, Cool Daddy Cool.
Wow.
You don't remember that?
That
That was on
Porn or-
every MP3 player
so
in
good.
2000. 2001. And really, folks, all these children that were allegedly abused on that island in the Carib. Well, it takes an island, really.
Yeah.
Like Hillary said.
Yeah, but we're moving on from that.
Yeah, I think we've had enough of that. So, you guys have any other comments or anything before we get into something a little lighter?
We're back, baby.
We're back. America's back, baby, but the Republic's gone.
Yeah. But we're back.
But we're back.
Yeah.
We're back essentially.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The only and let's be clear, the only reason we're laughing because if we don't, we'll either cry or smash our foreheads off this table.
That's right. Who's got a beautiful laugh? This woman.
I heard her sick laugh when you showed those photos
I
earlier.
want to talk to you. Okay, I can first.
Oh, that's music to my
He would
ear.
have been our president.
We're there. After
We would have definitely been back.
Hey, we dodged that bullet, right?
Yeah,
Ooh-wee.
I mean, I was waiting for you to say it. I loved it. We're like, how is she always got to say you and
you shouldn't laugh.
You
but
make
you have to.
She laughs like she's got a load of like nitrous.
Oxide.
Yeah.
Dude, back in the dark days, my friend Dave Barnes and I used. Sorry, Dave. Didn't mean to use your last name there. Yeah, he'd probably enjoy it. We used to do. You ever do whippets?
Yeah, bro. Of
Yeah,
course I
that's-
did.
Yeah, I think.
We
she-
grew up around the
Yesterday in the
same time.
kitchen.
You know we
I
did.
think she-
Hey,
she-
Keat it.
Dude, she's got a whippet tank concealed in a tube, concealed somewhere that she just hits that joker all day.
I seen a guy in a video yesterday. I thought he was carrying around a tube this big, just hitting it, walking around like Looney
Those
Tunes.
whippets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I do a cracker, with the balloon, and then like mashed potatoes. But,
Yeah.
But he was just walking around, just. I was like, okay, that's.
Was he selling Lucy's?
He looked like he bought some Lucy's for sure. Lucy's dog. Hey, you got a Lucy dog? Let's get into something a little lighter.
All right, send it.
Uh-oh.
From the frozen tundra, of San Francisco. Is it San Francisco? Is that where they're playing?
I think it is.
Now, okay.
So I text
still-
Julie and tell her I'm going to be late.
I still love football, but I just can't do it right now. So I don't have a video necessarily to play. But I figured I'd bring this up real quick. There's an old saying from a poet named Juvenal. And he says, give them bread and circus and they will never revolt.
Yep.
And how true.
Yeah.
It seems very true today.
And just note the slide there just reminded me of this. I meant to buy this at Barnes & Noble or see if they had it. I bought a couple good books. One of
By
them
Thomas Paine, Common Sense.
No, one of them was Operation Paperclip.
Very good book.
Yep. But I want to get Mind War, which was written by
I do too.
Lieutenant Colonel Michael Aquino.
Yes, and you know who else wrote Mind War? A former general,
Yes.
Paul E. Valley. You know what's interesting about Mr. Paul E. Valley?
Tell us where he's at today.
Well, he happens to sit on the board of TPUSA.
Oh.
Yes, it's amazing. It says here in this little article, does TPUSA trace back to satanic psychological warfare doctrine?
Well, check out Mind War and Lieutenant Colonel Michael Aquino.
Yeah. Yeah, Michael Aquino. He was the creator of the Temple of Set and also a pupil over, what's his name, Anton LaVey.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I put this up here. It's funny how people accept things like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, but still think energy, frequency, and vibration are just mystical nonsense.
Exactly.
That's what Tesla said. He said, you want to understand how the universe works, you got to study frequency, vibration, and energy. And
then they threw him out the window.
yeah. And then they stole all of his research.
Yep.
And it's no different from, biblical times. And you look at that Colosseum and you look where all the energy
Yes.
is going. It is going down. It is not going up.
Yeah. And I've never been to one, Rambo, but everybody that's been to one of those games said exactly what you just said. you can feel the energy. I don't know,
Mhm.
have you ever been to one?
Michael and I are both guilty.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I used to love going to basketball games. I'd rather go to a basketball game than baseball or football. Courtside, I loved it, and it felt like you were, you're in the action. You can
Even
smell
football.
the sneaker sweat.
Yeah.
And,
You can feel it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can feel it. It's.
oh, you were there
it's
watching
it's
the butts
euphoric,
and the
isn't it?
pants.
You can't see the butts and the pants that up high.
I seen you were on the
You-
field. I seen a picture of you on the field. Like, tee hee hee, look at me.
Jealous much? Yes.
I wasn't on the sideline. I was in the locker room.
Yes.
Oh.
No, but it is. It's really. It's. I love for Bubby to say that. He says that.
Oh, they haven't said that in a while. They kind of forgot about
Yeah.
that. But it's not that football was something that I thought did bring people together. I still think it does.
Yeah.
I
Dude,
think
I coached my son's baseball
Yeah,
team.
I-
It's phenomenal.
the youth sports is still so innocent.
Absolutely.
It's still pure.
Yes.
And I like watching youth sports. But
Well, you better be announcing some this year.
now batting number 32, the Winter Storm. And this game's been brought to you by the good folks at Velveeta. Velveeta, America's cheese for over 250 years. Find Velveeta in your grocer's paper section. But just, I think people should be aware of that. What are you putting your energy into? Because for men, I think we are designed to be protectors. We are designed to have something to focus our energy on. It should be our family if you have a family. And I think a lot of times sports sometimes consumes it. I know it consumed me way too much.
Absolutely. Me too.
And I do enjoy sports still, but at this particular moment in time, I hate to say it.
There's
I think
more important things.
Exactly.
And
I think
on that note, another book I rebought that I read right before I joined the military back in 2003. Excellent book called Wild at Heart by John Eldridge. And
what's it about?
It's about every man longs for a battle to fight, an adventure to live, and a beauty to rescue.
We were warriors,
Yep.
especially us. I mean, we were not that we were like swinging swords or anything like that, but
But we would have if we were still swinging swords.
Yeah.
I think we should still fight like that. Less people would sign up for it.
yeah, I knew a couple guys like they were like.
Yeah, I would.
We go on a patrol. They had a battle axe
Yeah.
on their back, and and I'm like, I only have this little dagger blade here. Maybe I need to get an axe. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I was like, God, do I want to hit somebody with that though? That's kind of.
Yeah.
You imagine the PTSD from those
I
battles.
I told you. I told her years ago. I said if we still fought like that, I don't think as many people would be. I would have done it because I think that's real battle. But
Yeah.
that's up close and personal freaking carnage, dude.
Oh yeah.
It's bad.
Like we just finished. Keita hadn't watched Game of Thrones, so we were finishing it.
We could do a whole episode on the parallels between Game of Thrones and what happens in our world.
Yeah.
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 Well, that's why I did that video. Like it's
Yeah, it's so true.
Yep.
Game of Thrones.
Yep.
It's
It is.
the elites running shit and using us as cannon fodder.
Exactly.
Real
But-
quick, what does it say about me that when you gave those three things, the last one was rescuing beauties? I thought the first two, that's you, babe. That's you. And I'm like, I'm over here rescuing a beauty.
No.
Well,
I'm the brains.
he is a
You're the
beautiful
beauty.
No way.
No, those days are over for me. And now I got this fucking like my hair. Like what the hell?
That's called just wash your hair, man.
It is kind of greasy right now.
I think we should do a Polcast sometime where I just nonchalantly stand behind you in French braid.
Yes, please.
And we'll just run the show like normal, and I'll just stay because I can do that. I can,
You either got to be in a real tight like wife beater,
yeah, with like a
or
belly
shirtless.
shirt. Yeah,
shirtless with kid on.
and coconut oil.
Oh man, we could do like those Viking braids. And I gotta get in some better shape because I'll take my shirt off too.
Yeah,
Especially
all
because this, I ripped this pec. So anyway,
Anyway.
any closing thoughts on tonight's show or anything?
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for coming in, Colonel. Appreciate your time and your wisdom. Keita, I know usually you charge for legal advice, and
I'm billing you. My clock's running right
I know your clocks. That's why I'm trying to hurry up and get this thing.
Wrap it up, guys.
But that's all we got for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to thank you for tuning in to tonight's episode of the Polcast. I do want to bring up one of, if I can pull it up. Why is that not pulling up? ApexAccuracyOutdoors.com. They are our sponsor. Check them out on the web machine. Give them a look if you're into shooting and you want to. We actually, he's making merch. We might be getting merch pretty soon.
Heard this for a while.
ApexAccuracyOutdoors.com. That's all we got for tonight, everybody. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, because that's the only way you can help take care of the loved ones around you. And God willing, we right this ship, that we get some true patriots in here that aren't concerned about the elites and the donor class and the masters that they serve, unless it's God and God only. And that's all we have for tonight. So Godspeed and long live liberty, everybody. Good night.